So now that 2018 is coming to an end, I'm going to talk about some of the stinkers that really disappointed me this year. So here's my ranking of the top 5 most disappointing movies of 2018. Now, I got to start by saying that I really pick and choose what movies I go see. So there are a lot of movies that I just chose not to see because either I wasn't interested in them in the first place, or some really bad reviews came out early in a movie that was universally hated by basically everyone and just overwhelmingly hated. Like The Predator. I have not seen The Predator. I did not go see it because I heard how bad it was by literally everyone. I do not intend to see it at any point unless I can watch it for free. So, had I seen it, I assume something like that would be on this list because as much as I love that series, I think I would have been really disappointed with the new one. Although it's kind of unfair to say that, so I can't actually put it on this list since I didn't see it. And I actually got an honorable mention here, and that's Solo, a Star Wars story. While this movie was fun and I enjoyed it, and it was never boring, it was just absolutely filled with fan service and references and just name dropping and just so many things that just answering questions that we didn't want answered and just stuff that we didn't really need to see. They're just showing everything that we already know and showing it how it happens and just didn't need it. Didn't need it at all. And even though I didn't expect a ton from this movie, I still, didn't really get much out of it. So that's why I have it as an honorable mention. So at number 5, I got Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, this movie I actually kind of liked. And I would probably recommend it to anyone that asked me. There's enough good in there for me to recommend it. The dinosaurs look cool. I mean, the visuals are amazing in this movie. They're always going to be. It's directed pretty well, and I really like the horror aspects that they really incorporate into this movie. But there's also a lot of problems with the storytelling. I really don't like the direction they took. They went away from the kind of more fun, simplistic nature of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, which I really enjoyed as well, and just took it in a direction with the whole auctioning thing that I didn't really like at all. Not to mention that most of these people that were buying the dinosaurs were just major cartoon characters. The villain was pretty lame, and some of the really corny lines, especially out of that girl at the end where she's like, "Oh, they're alive, like me." Oh man, just did not work for me at all. So coming in at number 4 is going to be Deadpool 2. Now, before you get all upset about this, I really enjoyed this movie. I just found it to be a little inferior to the first. And actually, I found it vastly inferior to the first because while it was really funny, very entertaining, Ryan Reynolds is perfect as always. I mean, the dude is born to play Deadpool. There were some things that this movie did, like there was a lot of jokes, and I know that's the main what Deadpool is about, but it was literally one after the other joke, and I'd say not all of them landed, even though a lot of them did. So they just went a little bit too far with that, and they also went a little bit too far with the plot, and sometimes it got a little convoluted, and it was just confusing, and they tried too hard with the plot here, and kind of went away from the simplistic nature that made the original Deadpool so great. So at number 3, I got Incredibles 2. Now, I understand that most people are really obsessed with this movie, and a lot of people are saying it's even better than the first. I gotta disagree on that. While this movie is entertaining, as much as the first one, maybe even more, the family dynamic is great. Maybe that's even better than the first one as well. And I really like how they switched up the roles between Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. But the movie felt very familiar to me. Some of the plot points actually were very similar to the first Incredibles, just with the roles flipped. And the twist you can see coming from a mile away. The person's name is literally Evelyn Dever. So do the math there, Evil Endeavor. Come on. And I just found the villain to be very underwhelming, and the twist just did not work for me at all. So at number 2, I got Halloween. Now, this movie I liked. I gave it a positive review. There's a lot of really good things about it, such as Michael Myers. This is the best Michael Myers has ever been, probably even better than the original. The horror aspects, when this movie was going full horror, the atmosphere was great and it worked really well. So there were some really brutal kills in here, even though it's not, you don't see everything. There's a lot inferred, and Michael Myers is just relentless, and you're scared and terrified whenever he's on the screen. So when they did things right, they really worked. But the bads also really stood out, such as some very, very misplaced humor, like the where the cops are in the car talking about the banh mi sandwich. It just did not land at all, and there were just way too many side plots going on, and just so much wasted time with things that really could have been fixed by doing something else. And now I feel like they did so many side plots just to get so that a character is a certain way, or there's something different later on in the movie. And I feel like they could have really done them a different way. And in case you haven't seen it, I can't really get into specifics about that. So that's why Halloween just was a little bit disappointing to me, because the trailers were amazing and they had been waiting a long time for this. And while the movie, I liked it, the final product just, it was mixed for me. Now, by far the biggest letdown of 2018 for me, and I touched on this a bit in my comic book ranking, is Venom. Oh man, this just did not work for me at all. Tom Hardy was about the only good thing about this movie. The guy's one of the best character actors we have around right now. He'll disappear into any role and you'll fully believe him. And his relationship with the symbiote Venom was great, but everything else was not good. There were major problems with the writing here. There were some terrible inconsistencies with the tone. The character of Venom himself was extremely inconsistent. One minute he's going around wanting to kill every single person he sees, and Eddie literally has to beg him not to kill just a random person. Then 5 minutes later he wants to stay on Earth with Eddie and protect it from the other symbiotes, and that just, it felt way too quick for me. Also, the freaking CGI blob of a fight that was the final fight in the dark with two aliens. Couldn't see what the hell was going on. And I already said this in my comic book ranking, but the main problem with this movie is it should have been rated R. So we can at least see the carnage. We can see, no pun intended, we can see the people dying, the blood and the gore, because Venom is a very violent character. He goes around killing people, eating their fucking heads off, and that's the one thing you expect in a Venom movie. I would have loved to actually been able to see that, but we can't because it was rated PG-13. So Venom is the most disappointing movie of 2018. So there you have it, guys. Now that I had a little time to rant about movies that let me down, coming up next is my top 10 movies of the year, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Then I got my most anticipated movies for 2019. So if you enjoyed this video, click on that like button, and please subscribe if you like my content, and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified next time I post a video. And guys, just spread the word. Stick around, and I got some more good stuff coming up. See you soon.